Everybody's talking about Harry and Meghan and the coronation, much speculation. Oh, you fed up with it already? It's only just started. A lot of speculation, of course, about whether or not they would be invited. Will they come? A spokesperson for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex has confirmed that the couple have been invited to the King's coronation, but they have yet to confirm whether they will actually be attending. So, Janet...
I like the way you turn to me as Queen of Etiquette.
Queen of Etiquette. No, but you are quite hot on, you know, if someone sends you an invitation or asks for something, you reply straight away.
No. That's not.
You mean
I reply you to me and she goes, no.
Yeah. Okay. I reply, but I reply if I'm not going, I say I'm not coming straight away. I think if you get a very formal invitation, which this is, we all know the date, we all know that a massive amount of arrangements and security and everything else has to be put in place, not to mention gold chairs, and they've all got to be put in the right place, and will they or will they not be on the balcony? There's so much to arrange. I just think it's polite to say immediately yes or no. And what I would say to Harry is do it for Dad.
You think he should be there?
Do it for Dad. You know, you might not want to, but, you know, you're big enough to do it for Dad.
Do you think he'll come? Should he come? Should they come
Well,
together?
I think the problem that they've got is they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. Because if they don't, the paper's going to absolutely slaughter them. And if they do, it's all going to be about Meghan and Harry and not about the King's, you know, King Charles. So I think they've got a lot to weigh up. So I don't think it is an instant invitation where you go, oh, yes, we'll come. But I agree with Janet that it's his dad and it's historic and...
But then look at everything he said about his dad. Look at everything he said. They have said...
Yes, but his dad has still invited him,
Camilla,
so that's...
Yes.
You know.
But what I'm saying is, would you be thinking, I have said a lot of things against the royal family, you know, can I actually be there truly to support my father after everything that he or they have said about the monarchy?
Well, it's a good way to bury the hatchet, I think. You know, get it all out there and just deal with it. But I don't think... I think it's best for them both to go rather than for just Harry to go and Meghan not go, because that will create even more arguments and conversation and speculation. So I think it would be good for them to go, and I think it would be good for them to get to the bottom and have that conversation that he actually wants to have and just clear it for you know, new coronation, new day, new dawn, new everything.
Well, we say they haven't actually responded yet, but watch this space, as they say. I'm sure we'll have a lot more to say about it. And staying with the coronation, there's going to be this big concert, the King Charles, on Sunday, the 7th of May. It does appear that they're finding it a little bit hard to pin artists down for the lineup, and so far it's been reported that those who have turned down the invitation, turned down so far, include Harry Styles, Adele, Kylie, you know, quite a few big names in there, Brenda. Are you offering your services?
Pin me, the Killer Queen, pin me. Pin me, I will be there without hesitation, absolutely. And, you know, I think the Loose Women Choir should get there and get their song in there.
That's a good idea.
Absolutely. A special feature exclusive.
I definitely... It wouldn't matter what I was doing, I would definitely cancel it to do that. That is a historic, momentous, amazing thing to be part of.
It is, but then if you are, you know, Adele or whoever,
their
big
world
star,
tours
and their tours are planned years in advance.
And don't forget, because of COVID...
Just redo the night that you're missing. I'd say, listen, guys, I've been invited to do this, but I will come back and do the concert for you. I can't miss that.
Well, look what happened when Adele cancelled her concert in Las Vegas. She was roasted. No, it wasn't for the King. I accept that, but these tours have been planned a year in advance, and the knock-on effect of COVID, even last year, was that when crew members and artists got COVID, they were cancelled again. So they're still playing catch-up. So I do have some sympathy. Having said that, if you and Brenda were to offer your services, I think if King Charles...
I have offered my services so many times.
And still not a call.
And still...
Nada.
Not an RSVP.
Nada. Don't understand
What's
it,
a
mate.
girl got to do?
Don't understand.
All right. Well, I'll promise to stay away from the singing.
I think the Loose Women Choir... Yeah, not Janet, not singing. The Loose Women Choir are offering their services, so if anybody's watching who's helping organise the King's...
Got a gap in the schedule.
Coronation. Got a little bit of a gap. Our ladies are here.
Whilst out shopping in homeware store Dunelm, one woman was shocked to see the products on offer in the Mother's Day gift section. She wrote, "I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest that most mums will not be delighted with a tablecloth for Mother's Day. I think most mums want an end to the gender pay gap, equitable access to affordable childcare and a break. I'm not so sure they want table linen." She was, of course, having a little bit of a joke, and the store has said that the signage was a one-off error. But has she got a point? Do mums maybe just need a break instead of nice tea towels, Janet, or tablecloth? Or where do you stand on
Definitely,
this?
I'm 100% with her. What mums want is affordable childcare, decent education for their kids, and someone else to do the housework.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't expect your kids to get you all of that for Mother's Day.
Well, they could do the hoovering, the ironing.
depends how old they are,
They could
yeah.
do that,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you know, it's really, I think it's a lot. Mother's Day comes a week after my birthday, so my kids...
What day is that?
Oh, it's on Sunday, the 12th of March. Honestly, all cards gratefully. No, but it is because they never know what to buy me for my birthday, and then they got the pressure on Mother's Day, and I'm like, listen, Mother's Day, it's every day for me, Mother's Day. So they don't need to really buy me presents, but when they were little, things like they'd buy me a tea towel or something, I never got offended and say, you know, to my 5-year-old, that's very sexist of you, actually.
Well, when you were allowed to pick wildflowers, you're not anymore, but when you were allowed to pick them in the hedges, I can remember from my mum all the primroses and the bluebells and the daffodils at this age. But you see, I think there's so much emotion on Mother's Day when you get to a certain point in life, if you've lost your mum. And I'm quite sure some of you in the audience today would identify with this. I miss my mum every Mother's Day. And when I was doing Radio 2, I used to get a lot of requests, obviously, for Mother's Day. And when I was reading them out, I was thinking of my own mum, and so the tears at times would be almost dripping off your chin. But after we lost Karen, the first Mother's Day was, I mean, awful to contemplate. You know, I just couldn't think about it. But I've got 2 wonderful boys. And Paul, who's the older of the 2, I taught him how to make a pavlova cake. Me making pavlova cake, taught him when he was about 15. And he hadn't made one for years and years, but on that first Mother's Day, Michael and Paul, they brought all the food. They said, don't buy anything, we're going to cook lunch. And Paul had made a pavlova cake.
Nice.
Do you know, I love that more than anything.
Yeah, priceless.
Priceless, yeah.
For me,
Why are you looking at me like, oh, she's scaring me?
I'm trying to think what I got my mother on Mother's Day and I can't remember a single thing.
Did you ever buy even just flowers? Or?
Oh, yeah, I would have sent her flowers for sure.
That's nice.
For sure, not a tea
nice.
towel, though.
I love, you mentioned cards. A homemade card is the best thing ever for me. I mean, my
from
two are really... him and his homemade cards from the children, yes. They are only 4 and almost 2 this weekend as well, actually. Yes.
Yeah, it's
but
lovely.
that's really special, with the little handprints that they've coloured in and just, like, glittery mess. But it's really
Again,
nice.
priceless.
Yeah. Our campaign's focus is celebrating every body and the importance and impact of seeing realistic and relatable bodies on TV and in our media. But when results from our exclusive survey found that 6 in 10 women still don't think there's enough body diversity in the media, it would appear there's a long way to go. Katie, just how important is it that we see versions of ourselves on screen, on the big screen, in our newspapers and our magazines?
Yeah, it's important for everybody, as well as minority groups. And I think I want to acknowledge how much progress has been made, because 5 years ago, I don't think we'd even see this panel on Loose Women. So I do feel really optimistic about the change in diversity and maybe the authenticity of the conversations that are being opened up. It feels like people genuinely want to see more. And I think with social media now, you can find out what the public want, because you get to listen to their tweets and their comments, and I think that's really powerful. I'd say from a personal point of view, I don't have any colleagues that look like me. I'm always the only burnt or facially disfigured person wherever I work, you know, not just here on Loose Women. And whilst I'm really grateful for all the privileges and all the opportunities, I'd like to see more people like me. You know, where I would see other people with facial burns would be at award ceremonies when they're getting the award, when they're getting a Pride of Britain. If I go to a charity event and people are fundraising for equipment for that person, you know, I'd like to see other TV presenters with facial disfigurements. I'd like to meet CEOs with facial burns because it's not a person that drives change. You know, just me sat here doesn't drive change enough. It might plant seeds. It's a group of people together that are passionate about change that really makes a difference.
Yeah. Having said that, you sitting here can inspire a whole host of different people with a whole host of different issues as well. Like, there's an inspirational thing involved.
I've got a lot of issues, so yeah.
No, but it's very true. I mean, even as I was growing up, Gloria, I have to say, like, Gloria was our, you know, legend god on the telly. Of course you were, yeah.
What did you used to think?
I used to think I'll never meet her. And here I am. But I'm just saying about how you remember, even as a kid, like things they plant seeds in your mind, particularly as a youngster. And I remember you on the telly and thinking, wow, imagine you know,
I'm very glad to be an icon to somebody, Christine, so thank you very much for that. But it's quite interesting because there'll be lots of people my age and beyond even, when we were growing up, there was no pressure, or not the big pressure there is now, for young people. So life has changed a lot, and I think that the improvement of diversity on the screen has also improved a lot in recent times, and people are conscious of it now. From my point of view, I must just tell you a quick story. When I did The Masked Singer just a year ago, they said to me, "You're the oldest person who has done this." And I went, "Really? Well, that's pretty good." So I think, I have got a title here. And what did Dick Van Dyke do recently in America? At 97. So I lost the title, but anyway, at least I could go until 97 or 100. There you go. But I actually, because Katie was speaking personally, from my point of view, I am all about energy. I just want energy these days. I don't look in the mirror and criticise myself, and I could do it, but I don't. Because all I want when I get up in the morning is to know that my body's working, that I've got the energy to do whatever I want to do, whether it's work or whether it's play or seeing my grandchildren look at a billboard. Yolanda, thank you. You know, so energy and attitude. And you see, when I look around this table, and I really feel it such a credit to be able to be amongst Loose Women, because I see attitude all the time. Attitude in doing what you're doing, attitude in dealing with adversity. And sometimes, you know, we know that life is going to throw stuff at us. Stuff comes whether you like it or not. But the attitude of how you deal with it is really important. And I think that's what we see here. And also, from my own point of view, you know, the age thing, not everybody wants to work in their 80s. They don't particularly. I do, because I love what I do. I learn something every day. I meet lovely people every day in the audience and at the desk here. And so, therefore, that's what I would like. I want to do. And Dick Van Dyke has set the bar now. But on the other hand, a lot of people like to retire early. It's whatever you want to do. But going back to the bodies, I think that these days we can all be.
Now, he shot to fame back in 2019 when he entered the Love Island villa and had his head turned by the bombshell Molly May. Since then, Tommy Fury has swapped reality TV for the boxing ring. And last month, he beat YouTuber Jake Paul in an intense 8-round contest. And if he wasn't busy enough already, earlier this year, just 6 weeks ago, Tommy and Molly May welcomed their baby girl, Bambi. Oh, I know. We're here to tell us more. It is Tommy Fury!
Wow, that is one proud man.
So is this what you won the other week? There you go.
Yep, that's the one.
Wow. Okay, there we are.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes, thank you.
Wow. Is it heavy? It's heavy. Feel it. Oh, my God.
You're not letting that go, are you? That was hard fun.
That was, yeah, no. Not really through the fight, but through the build-up, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a lot gone into that, a lot of hard work.
Like what? Tell us, because I don't know that much about boxing.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a fight. You know, the fight was pretty much the easy part, believe it or not. But it was just a build-up. You know, 3 years of constant, you know, getting heckled at in public. You know, going out your missus. You know, you're going to lose to this guy.
Heckled in public? Why?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it'd be every day.
About what? About the components you're going to be fighting against?
Yeah, just everything, you know. This fight was meant to happen twice before. You know, I supposedly backed out twice. I was supposedly running scared. I didn't want to fight.
Wow.
And, you know, coming through on Sunday just proved everyone wrong, so...
God, it's
I'm
one
happy
thing
about
to
it.
get things on social media, but to get actual face... I mean, I wouldn't pick on you.
But I suppose that's the thing, it's a discipline. But that's the thing, it's a disciplined sport, isn't it? If you're just, you know, throwing punches around, then it's not... So it must be so hard knowing that you can to just control yourself and keep focused, huh?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I do my fighting in the ring. I'm not really interested in altercation outside of that. So, you know, people's always going to have opinions, so they can think what they want to think. I went out there on Sunday, did what I was meant to do, and here we are.
And how did it feel? How did it feel when you realised that you'd done it?
It felt amazing because, obviously, having, you know, Tyson as a brother, you know, I've been there every single big fight he's ever had. And, you know, Sunday night was my big night, you know, especially in the boxing. You know, you see him there, he was very proud.
What a proud face that is.
So, no, it was good. It was nice to have my time at the top and, you know, it was nice to prove everyone wrong. That was the main thing about this fight because there had so many people, even fellow Brits, you know, former world champions saying that I would lose or get knocked out.
Wow.
You know, and that shuts everyone up.
What's that like for you?
It was
especially
tough.
when it's also fellow professionals as well that's saying this.
Yeah, it was tough because I was like, these guys seem something that I can't see. Like, what's going on here? Like, why am I like fellow people? You know, if you're going to support someone, support your own. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's such a psychological game, isn't it? That, like you say, starts way before the fight of trying to undermine your confidence and all of that. So, do you have like psychologists and stuff like tennis players do? You know, that build up that confidence, or you just get on with it yourself?
No, I mean. Fighting to us in our family is like having a cup of tea. It's not a big deal at all. Some people get pressured up with it, but I had the weight of the world on my shoulders on fight night. But you know, I love fighting. This is what I do. You know, it's what I'm born to do. I've done it ever since being a child. So.
Well, you certainly proved them wrong. And what I want to ask you, because a lot of it, as Nadia suggested there, is about focus before the fight, and you went and had a baby.
Yeah.
How do you focus when you've got a newborn baby?
You know, it was very tough. There was a lot going on in the build-up to this. You know, obviously, Bambi, my little girl, was born 6 weeks ago. So I was kind of having a lot of FaceTime calls, but I was constantly switching from trying to be the fighter and the aggressive man, getting ready for war, and then trying to be the daddy, you know, trying to split myself into a million pieces. And you just can't do it. So there was a lot of phone calls, a lot of conversations, but we got through it.
But you've done it well. You know, there was some negative comments about you leaving to go and train and so on. How did you deal with that, and how did that make you feel?
Again, you know, I'm not bothered about anyone's opinion, to be honest. As long as my family and my missus, you know, and my children think that I'm doing all right, that's all that matters to me. And I knew that, you know, people can say what they want, but I'm away for her.
Now, yesterday, we're going to talk now about the sad news of the passing of a cultural icon, and that is Mystic Meg. Yes, her real name was Margaret Lake. She's died at the age of 80. Now, Meg wrote the daily horoscopes for newspapers like The Sun for decades. She fast became the world's most successful phone line astrologer and a household institution, thanks to the National Lottery TV show. So, we're going to talk today about whether you at home and us here, whether we live by our star signs. Nads?
No, I don't. But I do think that there's something in it. And I don't know if any of you guys did this, but when we were teenagers and a bit beyond, we all had that big book. You've still got yours,
Yeah, the birthday book.
Oh, the birthday book. And, you know, you'd fancy someone and you'd be straight home to your book. And then I can literally remember it, lying on your back with your legs up, you know, eating an apple, doing
hang on, are we still on the birthday book?
No, I'm literally remembering sitting in a room with my friends and my sisters going, oh, my God, look, he's this star sign, he's absolutely right. So you would always fixate on what you wanted to hear. But as time's gone on, you can't help it. You notice more and more that I'm drawn to certain signs.
But
like
do you think
Pisces.
we apply things to it? Do you know? Because it's a bit like when people are telling you things about yourself, you're always like, oh, yeah, I do that.
Yeah, well...
Because you kind of want it to be true.
A bit, that's what I mean. But as life goes on and you realise, God, unconsciously, I'm always drawn to this person who is this star sign. I mean, Mark and I are both Scorpios, which is an incredibly dangerous thing. And I remember a friend of mine at our wedding going, well, what are you going to do? Just sit around all day stinging each other. It was quite camp. And I was like, oh, God, and it really worried me. And I remember panicking, thinking, what am I doing? Two, like, these fiery star signs together. So though I, like, say, oh, no, inside somewhere I do. It does affect me a little bit. So
what about you,
Frankie? I don't
Frankie?
know anyone's... I was just thinking that, like, you know, you were saying you're drawn to certain star signs. Even though I know all my friends' birthdays, I've never actually sat and wondered what star sign they are.
But what about men?
No, I haven't. I mean, like...
What's Wayne?
Oh, don't...
Leo?
Oh.
Is he a Leo?
Don't think about it.
Stars, you're supposed to know.
8th of... Oh, no, it's not the 4th of August. I walked into that myself, didn't I?
If it is the 4th, it's Leo if it's the 4th of
Yeah, I'm
August.
sure it's a Leo, yeah, 'cause I think one of the others is Leo as well.
So you definitely don't believe in star
let's get out of that
signs.
hole. Yeah, I don't know. So obviously, you see how much I don't really take much notice in it. And I think as well, when I'm around people that do believe in it, everyone talks about it, and then it gets to me, and I'm a Capricorn, and no one knows anything about a Capricorn.
I
so
do.
I think I've just gone, oh, well, no one cares
my
about
eldest is a Capricorn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But I believe more in, like, tarot card reading and stuff.
Have you
which is
been?
probably a bit more far-fetched.
Have you been to tarot?
I've been loads. I used to have this one woman I used to drive, like, 2 hours to in the middle of nowhere, and she literally lived in this really old, cold, dark house with a black cat. But I think you
So
take
not a
what
cliche,
you want.
then?
No, exactly, but I think
Why
you
did
take
you
what
go in the
want from
first
it.
place? Oh, hang on. Oh, dear. What? 5th of August, sorry. It's still a Leo, but that's just come through from upstairs. It's the 5th of August.
It was a momentary blip, OK? I did the same when we went to, like, you know, when you have to go and do your marriage thing to be allowed to get married, and she asked me his birthday, and I gave her 3 options. I just
So
panicked
did you
on
go to the
spot.
tarot reader to try and find out what day your husband was born?
Oh, don't. His mum always watches this
I
as
think
well.
there's a lot in star signs because my sister Debbie is a Libra, which are the weighing scales, and she cannot make a decision about anything. So you say to her, do you want to go down the market, get some shopping? She goes, I think about it. I might do, but then, oh, no, I think I'll leave it. Oh, no, hold on, I will come now. And then my other sister Tina's a Gemini, so that's like 2 faces. So she can be really happy or really, really not happy. I'm Pisces, which I think is a nice sign to be because it's like dreamy, dopey.
Wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy.
Pisces and
I don't know what
Scorpio
direction I'm
make sex
swimming
together,
in.
you know.
Do they?
Yeah. It's a
Well,
perfect
Pisces
sexual
and
match.
Sagittarius don't, because that's my husband.
Moving swiftly
My
on.
friend said Pisces and Sagittarius should never be together. So what shall I say about that?
Well, Capricorn and Leo, they don't even know their birthday.
Love you, Wayne.
Oh, hello.